Before someone becomes spiritually chosen for massive wealth, they always go through one painful season almost nobody survives. And Michael says you're in that season right now. Warning, Archangel Michael chose you to become a billionaire, but not in the way the world thinks. This is not just about money. This is about a spiritual transformation that only a few people are strong enough to survive. And if you've been feeling isolated, attacked, delayed, or emotionally exhausted lately, Michael says those struggles were preparing you for a level of abundance that would shock everyone around you. But there's one dangerous mistake that can destroy this blessing before it arrives, and most people don't even realize they're making it. Stay until the end, because Michael's final warning could completely change your future. There's a reason your life suddenly became heavier, a reason your spirit has felt exhausted, a reason people started leaving your life. And according to Archangel Michael, none of it happened by accident. Because before heaven places massive abundance into someone's hands, their soul must first be tested. Michael says, many people pray for wealth, but very few are spiritually prepared to handle it. That sentence alone explains why so many people remain stuck. Most people think becoming wealthy is only about hard work. But heaven sees wealth differently. Money is not just paper. Money is influence. Money is power. Money amplifies the condition of a person's spirit. If someone is selfish before wealth, they become more selfish after wealth. If someone is empty before wealth, they become more lost after wealth. And if someone is spiritually asleep before success, success often destroys them completely. This is why heaven delays certain blessings. Not because you're rejected, but because your spirit is still being prepared. Michael says, the delay was never punishment. The delay was protection. Some of you listening have cried in silence for years. You watched other people succeed while your own life felt frozen. You worked hard. You stayed loyal. You stayed hopeful. Yet nothing seemed to move. And slowly, the frustration began growing inside you. You started wondering, why is everyone else moving ahead while I remain stuck? But Michael says, you were never falling behind. You were being built differently. Chosen people go through seasons ordinary people cannot understand. Because heaven trains chosen souls through pressure, not comfort. And that training changes everything. Think about your own life. How many times did you almost give up? How many nights did you silently battle anxiety while pretending to be okay? How many times did people underestimate you because they could not see what heaven placed inside you? Michael says, the chosen are often ignored before they are revealed. And this is where most people fail. Because when life becomes difficult, they abandon their purpose. They become bitter. They become impatient. They start chasing shortcuts. And shortcuts destroy destinies. The enemy loves impatient souls. Because impatience causes people to sabotage their own blessings. Many people destroy their future because they cannot survive temporary discomfort. But not you. Something inside you kept moving forward even when everything around you became dark. That strength is not normal. That endurance is spiritual. Michael says, you survived seasons that should have broken you. And that survival matters more than you realize. Because billionaires are not built only through opportunity. They're built through pressure. The world sees successful people after the breakthrough. Heaven sees the suffering before the breakthrough. The isolation, the rejection, the silent battles nobody talks about. Michael says, the strongest souls are prepared in hidden places. And that explains your loneliness. Some of you feel disconnected from almost everyone around you. Friends changed. Relationships ended. Even family members stopped understanding your vision. And it hurt deeply. But Michael says something powerful. Certain people had to leave because they could not enter the next season with you. Sometimes separation is protection, not punishment. There are people who only understand the old version of you, the smaller version, the insecure version, the struggling version. But heaven cannot elevate you while you remain surrounded by people committed to your past. So slowly, God removes distractions. And at first it feels painful. But later, you realize it saved your future. Michael says, not everyone connected to you is assigned to your destiny. That is why your circle became smaller. That is why your spirit started craving peace more than attention. That is why drama began exhausting you. Your soul is changing. And when the soul changes, the entire life begins changing with it. Some of you have noticed this already. You no longer feel excited by fake validation. You no longer chase approval the way you once did. You started protecting your energy, protecting your mind, protecting your peace. And Michael says that shift is the beginning of abundance, because true wealth starts internally before it appears externally. The world teaches people to look rich. Heaven teaches chosen people to become powerful internally first. That inner transformation creates lasting abundance. And this is the part most people never understand. Money flows differently toward disciplined spirits, toward focused minds, toward emotionally controlled people, because emotional chaos destroys opportunities. Many people receive blessings, then destroy them through impulsive decisions. Michael says, if you cannot manage your emotions, you cannot manage massive abundance. That is why your recent battles were necessary. The betrayal taught discernment. The delays taught patience. The isolation taught independence. The suffering taught resilience. Nothing was wasted. Every painful season was building the version of you capable of handling the future Michael saw coming. And that future is bigger than you think. Some of you were chosen to create generational wealth, not temporary success, generational transformation, the kind of breakthrough that changes your bloodline forever. But with that assignment comes spiritual warfare, because whenever heaven prepares someone for elevation, resistance increases. Have you noticed that the closer you move toward purpose, the stronger the attacks become? Suddenly confusion appears, distractions appear, fear appears, doubt appears, and many people quit right there. But Michael says the pressure increased because your breakthrough is getting closer. The enemy does not attack empty destinies. He attacks potential. He attacks future influence. He attacks people capable of changing lives. And whether you realize it or not, your future carries influence. Your future carries impact. Your future carries abundance. That is why this season felt so intense. You were being refined, prepared, strengthened. And while others misunderstood your struggle, heaven understood every silent tear, every sleepless night, every moment you wanted to disappear. Michael says, you survive because your destiny is still alive. That sentence alone should change the way you see yourself, because many people around you only see your current situation. But heaven sees your future identity, the millionaire mindset, the disciplined spirit, the powerful leader hidden underneath the pain. And Michael says, the version of you that is coming will shock everyone who doubted you. But before that version appears, one final lesson must be learned. Because there is a dangerous trap destroying countless chosen people before abundance reaches them. And in the next part, Michael reveals the hidden mindset that blocks wealth even when blessings are near. Archangel Michael says, many people pray for abundance while secretly thinking like the person they used to be. And that contradiction silently destroys their future. Because wealth is not attracted only by desire, it is attracted by identity. Most people want a billionaire life, but their mind is still programmed for fear, limitation, and survival. And heaven cannot place massive abundance into the hands of someone who still believes they are small. This is why so many people remain trapped in cycles. The opportunities appear, then disappear. The breakthrough gets close, then collapses. The motivation rises, then fades again, because internally, they still expect failure. Michael says, a person's reality eventually follows the condition of their inner world. That sentence explains more than most people realize. Your thoughts shape your decisions. Your decisions shape your habits. And your habits shape your destiny. This is why the enemy attacks the mind first. Not the money, not the opportunity, the mind. Because if your thinking remains trapped, your life remains trapped. Many chosen people spend years asking heaven for abundance, while constantly speaking negativity over themselves. I am unlucky. I always fail. Nothing ever works for me. People like me never become successful. And every time those words are spoken, energy shifts. Confidence weakens. Vision shrinks. Faith decreases. Michael says, your words either strengthen your destiny or sabotage it. That is why your environment matters deeply. Some of you are surrounded by people who constantly feed fear into your spirit. People who laugh at ambition. People who criticize growth. People who secretly become uncomfortable when you start evolving. And slowly, their mindset infects your energy until one day you begin doubting yourself too. Michael says, not every voice deserves access to your spirit. Chosen people must learn this quickly, because the higher your calling, the more carefully you must protect your mind. Billionaire energy requires focus, discipline, emotional control, long-term vision. But modern society trains people for distraction, constant noise, constant comparison, constant emotional chaos. And most people never escape it. That is why they stay financially stuck, because distracted people rarely build extraordinary lives. Michael says, where attention goes, energy flows. Think about how many people spend years feeding their minds negativity every single day. Fear-based news, toxic conversations, jealous comparisons, drama, gossip, complaining, and then they wonder why peace never enters their life. Your mind is spiritual territory, and whatever controls your mind eventually controls your direction. That is why Michael has been pushing some of you into isolation recently. Not to punish you, but to detox your spirit, to clear the noise, to rebuild your focus. Some of you thought you were losing people, when in reality heaven was removing interference. Because your next season requires clarity, and clarity cannot exist inside constant distraction. Michael says, the future belongs to focused souls. That sentence alone separates chosen people from the crowd. Most people chase temporary pleasure. Chosen people learn delayed gratification. Most people quit when results take time. Chosen people continue building quietly. Most people need constant validation. Chosen people learn to move in silence. And silence is powerful because real wealth is usually built away from attention. While the world performs online, the chosen are preparing privately, learning privately, healing privately, building privately. Michael says, protect your vision until it becomes undeniable. This is extremely important. Not everyone deserves access to your dreams. Some people carry doubt so strong, they poison every room they enter. And if you constantly share your vision with negative people, eventually their fear starts weakening your confidence. That is why certain goals should remain silent until manifestation begins. Because energy matters, focus matters, spiritual alignment matters. And right now, many of you are entering a season where discipline will determine everything. Michael says, the next version of your life requires a stronger version of you. You cannot enter billionaire territory with self-destructive habits. You cannot build abundance while constantly procrastinating. You cannot create greatness while feeding laziness. And this is the hard truth many people avoid. They want extraordinary outcomes while maintaining ordinary discipline. But heaven does not reward wishful thinking. Heaven rewards alignment, action, consistency, obedience. Some of you have incredible gifts hidden inside you right now. Ideas, creativity, leadership, communication skills, business instincts. But fear keeps delaying your movement. You keep waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect sign. Meanwhile, time continues moving. Michael says, faith without movement creates stagnation. At some point, you must move, even while uncertain, even while afraid. Because courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving despite fear. And many billionaires the world admires today began with uncertainty too. The difference is they acted before they felt fully ready. Meanwhile, others stayed trapped in hesitation for years. Michael says, your destiny is waiting on the other side of action. That line can transform an entire life. Because overthinking destroys more dreams than failure ever will. Some people spend so much time doubting themselves they never begin. And years later, they watch others living the life they once imagined. Not because those people were more chosen, but because they moved, they risked, they believed. And Michael says, movement activates opportunities. That is why your current season feels uncomfortable. Your spirit is being pushed beyond limitation, beyond fear, beyond excuses. And yes, growth feels painful sometimes, because every new level demands the death of an old mindset. The insecure version of you must die. The fearful version must die. The procrastinating version must die. The victim mentality must die, because your future cannot be carried by your old identity. Michael says, you cannot become powerful while remaining attached to weakness. That message is difficult for many people to hear, but it is necessary, because abundance flows toward responsibility, toward maturity, toward discipline. And some of you are finally entering that transformation now. You are beginning to think differently, move differently, protect your energy differently. You are becoming more intentional, more focused, more aware. And even though others may not notice yet, heaven notices. Michael says, every disciplined decision is building your future in silence. Nothing is wasted. Every early morning, every sacrifice, every lonely season, every time you stayed focused while others doubted you. It all matters, because the version of you being built right now is capable of carrying massive abundance without self-destruction. And that is rare, very rare. Most people want wealth. Few people are spiritually prepared to sustain it. But Michael says, you are being trained for longevity, not temporary success. That is why your process has been slower, more painful, more isolating, because lasting greatness requires deeper preparation. And in the next part, Michael reveals the shocking reason many chosen people lose their blessings right before breakthrough finally arrives. Archangel Michael says, many chosen people come extremely close to abundance, then lose it because they fail the final test. And this test is not about intelligence. It is not about talent. It is not even about hard work. It is about character, because before heaven trusts someone with massive wealth, their heart is examined. Most people think becoming a billionaire is only about strategy and opportunity. But Michael says, your spirit determines what you can sustain. Some people receive blessings too early, and those blessings destroy them. Ego takes over. Pride enters. Greed consumes them. And suddenly the same success they prayed for becomes the reason they collapse. That is why your process has taken time. Heaven needed to know whether success would change your soul. Some of you have already noticed this test happening. You've been disappointed, ignored, underestimated. And during those painful moments, your real character started revealing itself. Did you become bitter? Did you start hating people? Did jealousy enter your heart when others succeeded? Or did you continue growing quietly? Michael says, how you behave during delay determines what you can handle during elevation. That sentence is powerful, because many people act humble only when they have nothing. But once power enters their hands, their true nature appears. And heaven sees this before abundance ever arrives. That's why some people chase money for years, but never reach peace. Their spirit is not aligned. Their intentions are corrupted. They want wealth only to feel superior, only to impress people, only to prove something. But Michael says, money cannot heal insecurity. In fact, money often exposes insecurity even more. That's why many rich people still feel empty inside. They gained wealth, but never healed their spirit. And some of you are different. Your pain created depth. Your suffering created wisdom. Your loneliness created awareness. Michael says, the chosen are refined through struggle, so success does not poison them. Right now, many of you are entering a season where temptation will increase. Distractions will appear. Fake opportunities will appear. People from the past may suddenly return. Why? Because the closer someone gets to breakthrough, the more chaos tries to pull them backwards. The enemy wants you distracted before elevation arrives. Some people lose their destiny because they reconnect with old habits. old relationships, old addictions, old mentalities, and slowly, their focus disappears again. Michael says, not everything reconnecting with you is from heaven. Be careful in this season. Not every opportunity is aligned with your purpose. Some things arrive only to test your discipline. That toxic relationship, that shortcut, that quick money temptation, it may look attractive temporarily, but it carries destruction behind it. Chosen people must learn discernment, because billionaire energy requires self-control. And self-control is rare in today's world. Most people are ruled by impulse. If they feel emotional, they react instantly. If they feel tempted, they surrender instantly. If they feel uncomfortable, they quit instantly. But Michael says discipline separates the chosen from the distracted. Some of you are finally learning this now. You're becoming calmer, more intentional, less reactive. And even though your progress feels slow, your transformation is becoming powerful, because inner stability creates external success. Think about it. A distracted mind struggles to build anything lasting. An emotionally unstable person destroys opportunities. An impatient spirit quits too early. That's why heaven spent so much time strengthening you internally first. Michael says, the blessing coming into your life requires emotional maturity. And this next season will reveal whether you truly learned the lessons from your past. Will you remain focused when distractions appear? Will you stay humble when success begins arriving? Will you protect your peace when people suddenly start noticing your growth? Because attention changes people. Success changes relationships. The same people who ignored you may suddenly want access to you again. And Michael says, not everyone celebrating your rise is happy for you. That's why spiritual discernment becomes essential after elevation. Some people clap for you publicly while secretly hoping you fail privately. Jealousy is real, envy is real, and wealth attracts both admiration and hidden resentment. That's why chosen people must stay spiritually grounded, never arrogant, never careless, never consumed by ego. Because the moment ego takes control, wisdom disappears. Michael says, stay grateful in every season. Gratitude protects the soul. A grateful spirit stays aligned with abundance. But an entitled spirit destroys blessings quickly. And this is where many people fail the final test. The moment small success enters their life, they stop growing. They stop learning. They become lazy, comfortable, and slowly their momentum dies. But Michael says, your assignment is bigger than temporary comfort. You are not chosen to settle for average. You are chosen to build something meaningful, something lasting, something capable of changing lives beyond your own. That's why your ambition feels deeper than normal ambition. It's not only about money. It's about freedom, impact, legacy. And Michael says, the wealth coming to you carries responsibility. Some of you will help your families escape struggle. Some of you will inspire people who almost gave up. Some of you will create opportunities for others. That is why your preparation has been spiritual, not just financial. Because true abundance is bigger than luxury. It is influence. And influence in the wrong hands becomes dangerous. So heaven tested your patience, your humility, your discipline, your intentions. And even though the process exhausted you at times, you survived it. Michael says, you are closer than you think. Right now, doors are quietly opening behind scenes. Connections are aligning. Opportunities are forming. Things you cannot yet see are beginning to move. But the final step is critical. You must remain aligned, focused, spiritually clear. Because one careless decision can delay everything again. And in the next part, Michael reveals the hidden habit silently keeping millions of people trapped in financial struggle forever. Archangel Michael says, one hidden habit destroys more destinies than failure ever could. And that habit is doubt, not lack of talent, not lack of opportunity. Doubt, because the moment people begin doubting themselves, their energy changes. Their focus weakens, their courage disappears, and slowly they stop moving toward the life they once dreamed about. Michael says, the enemy cannot stop your destiny directly. So he attacks your belief first. That's why so many people quit right before breakthrough. They become tired, impatient, emotionally drained, and they assume nothing is happening behind the scenes. But heaven is always working in silence. Some blessings are being prepared while you sleep. Some doors are opening without you even realizing it yet. Some opportunities are moving toward you right now. But if doubt controls your spirit, you may sabotage the very future you prayed for. That is why Michael has been teaching you faith through delay, patience through struggle, strength through isolation. Because your future requires a powerful mindset, not a fearful one. You are not chosen to think small. You are not chosen to live trapped in survival forever. Michael says, you were created for expansion, and expansion begins internally first. The moment your mind changes, your direction changes. The moment your standards change, your life changes. The moment you finally believe you are capable of more, new opportunities begin entering your reality. That is why this message reached you today, not by accident, but because heaven needed to remind you who you truly are. You're not behind. You are not forgotten. You're being prepared. Every painful season had purpose. Every betrayal taught wisdom. Every delay built endurance. And soon, the same people who doubted you will be shocked by how far you rise. Michael says, stay disciplined. Stay humble. Stay focused. Your season is coming. But remember this, abundance without peace means nothing. Protect your spirit more than your image. Protect your focus more than distractions. And never allow temporary emotions to destroy your long-term destiny. Because the version of you heaven sees is far greater than the version the world sees right now. Warning: if this message resonated with your spirit, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who needed this confirmation today. And comment below, Michael is preparing me for abundance. Your next season is going to change everything. If this message resonated with your spirit, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who needed this confirmation today. And comment below, Michael is preparing me for abundance. And before you leave, go watch this next message right now. Warning: Archangel Michael. When the money arrives, stay wise. Because Michael reveals the hidden mistake that causes many chosen people to lose their blessings after success finally enters their life. Don't miss this warning.